Hi, my name is Bob Eisinger. I'm speaking to you from my home in Montgomery County, Maryland. I've lived here my entire life, and in that time I've watched our county grow from a common suburb to a regional business hub. But as far as we've come, I think most would agree that we've let something essential to our future lag behind, our transportation system. I'm here today to propose another approach to how we travel within our county, within our region as a whole, and throughout metropolitan areas across the nation. From above, this region is typical, an urban core connected to neighboring counties by an array of highways and the Capital Beltway. There's an existing mass transit network, heavy rail metro, MARC, and Amtrak trains for our more popular routes, and a growing number of light rail and bus rapid transit lines. Each of these will remain essential to our transportation network going forward, but the pressure on the system is growing by the day. The state of Maryland appears to be heading toward the same solution favored by the Commonwealth of Virginia over the last decade, building additional hot lanes. Although hot lane proponents highlight the toll revenue they produce and the potential for shorter commuting times, in reality, adding more lanes is only part of an effective long-term solution. We also need to think about cost-effective transit options that preserve our environment and offer an alternative to sitting in traffic. And during construction of these hot lanes, Montgomery County's business owners and commuters will bear the brunt of the traffic disruptions along I-270. What I am here to propose is that we insert another mode of transportation into the discussion, one that would be more reliable, environmentally cleaner, easier and quicker to construct, less expensive than highway lanes, and it has future expansion built into its design. The alternative is Monorail. Monorails may look like a vision of tomorrow, but they've been successfully shuttling riders around the world for decades. Today you'll find them doing the heavy lifting of urban mass transit in places like Osaka, Japan, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Chongqing, China. Their form and function might look familiar, like a sleek subway train riding high above the surface. But look closer and you'll discover that monorail systems provide a unique series of advantages over HOV and hot roadways and other transportation modes. To begin with, consider the most important element of a transit system: reliability. Monorail systems are fully automated. They drive on their own dedicated tracks, completely removed from roadways. They do not interfere with cars, trucks, or pedestrians, nor are they impacted by traffic incidents or heavy volume. Monorails are virtually unaffected by wet or snowy conditions. And segregated from traffic, monorails have historically operated with 99.5% reliability, the highest reliability statistic of any transportation mode. But in Frederick County and in Montgomery County, we're looking for more than just reliability. Our counties pride themselves on being a national model for the preservation of land and water resources. The plan for I-270 calls for 4 additional lanes of traffic stretching over 22 miles. That effectively equals as much as 128 acres of added impervious surface. This requires extensive mitigation to keep stormwater from running into the county's many streams, the Potomac River, and into the Chesapeake Bay. In contrast, a monorail would ride on elevated preformed concrete tracks above I-270's existing right-of-way. They only touch the ground every 100 to 120 feet. With so little impervious surface area, the stormwater impact of monorail is a mere fraction of additional highway lanes. In fact, stormwater runoff from the system is almost non-existent. Monorails reduce the time, cost, and environmental impact of construction. And crucially, because we are talking about using existing public right-of-way, the political risk and the cost of land acquisition is near zero. Historically, monorails operate at a lower cost per passenger than BRT and light rail. When maintained properly, their key components, like electric motors and the tracks themselves, can last 50 years or more. Compare this, for example, with a typical bus BRT system, where asphalt and engine replacement can be expected after roughly 10 years. We hope everyone is aware the only difference between a heavy rail and a light rail designation is the number of passengers the system carries per hour per direction, and therefore the size of the stations. As ridership grows, monorail systems allow more cars to be fed into the network to meet additional demand, effectively becoming heavy rail. BRT and light rail do not have this flexibility. So not only is the system life of a monorail longer, they can grow with demand without having to be completely replaced with another mode. While overall construction costs, given a zero land component, can reduce fares and make it more affordable to ride. Picture a monorail streaming down the I-270 corridor to the Shady Grove Metro Station, and then continuing along Rockville Pike all the way into downtown Bethesda. Its flexible design allowing riders to enter and exit stations integrated into the architecture of new mixed-use construction. For some, these interior stations will be their final destination. For others, ride-on buses, Uber, and Lyft will help them complete the final leg of their journey. Monorail could be the way to tackle our regional transportation challenges, and a line connecting Frederick to Bethesda would be an ideal first step. From what our team has learned studying this route for the last 2 years, the monorail solution for I-270 is logical, cost-effective, and it's more environmentally sound than any alternative solution. It can also be constructed at any height required with minimal impact on I-270's existing traffic. Our team has actually done the civil engineering alignment along I-270, and our preliminary findings suggest no additional ground acquisition is required. It is not expected to limit further lane expansion. Therefore, it could be done as a solution for I-270 or part of a hybrid solution with additional lanes. With no land costs or acquisition delays, monorail can be implemented faster than any alternative. Along I-270, 6 potential stations have been identified: Frederick, Urbana, Comsat, Germantown, and Metropolitan Grove before reaching the Red Line at Shady Grove. We have discussed the system with the City of Frederick, the owners of Comsat, and the owners of Germantown and the owners of Metropolitan Grove, and all are supportive. Monorail will go beyond interlinking our existing transportation infrastructure. It will actually enhance the development of the emerging transportation mode of autonomous vehicles. Given the reliability of monorail, commuters will consider it a viable alternative, thereby reducing the number of cars on existing roadways. Freeing up existing road capacity will allow lanes to be dedicated to autonomous vehicles, which can only effectively operate when segregated from conventionally driven cars. What I am proposing is that the state of Maryland, Montgomery County, and Frederick County give this monorail plan a proper hearing. Using the initial Frederick to Shady Grove segment as a pilot, let's invest in a comprehensive ridership study that would give us an accurate snapshot of the cost to build, operate, and ride on this system. When compared to the cost per mile to expand a highway or to build a light rail system, I am confident that our monorail plan will prove its value. For a county that holds fast to a pair of often conflicting ideals, environmental stewardship and economic expansion, I would argue that a monorail system may be the only long-term solution capable of driving growth and expansion as demand for mass transit continues to rise. I believe this approach gives us a chance, once again, to position Montgomery County as both a leader in smart growth planning and resource conservation.